Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, but before that, let us unlock some vocabularies. So, first one we have here statistics. Statistics is a branch of mathematics that deals with collecting, organizing, and interpreting data to address a certain phenomenon. For example, marketing strategists use statistics to see the current market trend and devise solutions on how companies could sell more of their products. Marketing strategists are like detectives, so using data to solve the mystery of how to get more people to buy a product. They use statistics to understand the current market trends like what people are buying, what they're interested in, how much they're willing to spend. This information helps them figure out the best ways to reach potential customers and convince them to choose a particular product. So that is the use of statistics. The second one is what we call population. Population is the set of all possible cases from which data are collected. For example, a study regarding the average height of students in a school requires the set of all students studying in that school as its population. So imagine you want to find the average height of all students in a school. To do this accurately, you need to measure the height of every single student in the school. This group of every single student is called the population. So for a study about the average height of students, the population is the complete set of all students in that school. It's like taking a snapshot of everyone in the school at that moment in time. So that is population. The third one is about sample. Sample is a subset of the population under study. For example, a study regarding the average height of students in a school may focus only on the sample set of students in a single grade level studying in that school. Imagine you want to study the average height of students in a school, but measuring everyone is a big job. Instead, you might decide to focus on just one grade level, like all the sixth graders. This smaller group of students is called a sample. So a study about average height could focus on a sample of students from just one grade level. This is a good way to get a general idea about the height of students in that school without having to measure everyone. So that is a sample. That is only a subset of the general population under study. The fourth one we have here is variables. Variables are characteristics that vary over time from subject to subject. For example, consider a study regarding the influence of social media on students' preferences in choosing a student leader. In this study, a researcher may include the number of social media accounts per sample students as one of the variables. The researcher can also choose the gender of the sample student as another variable. So imagine a researcher wants to understand how social media influences students' choices for student leaders. They're curious if students who use more social media accounts are more likely to choose a leader based on their online presence. To investigate this, the researcher might look at two key factors. First, the number of social media accounts. This variable measures how much a student uses social media. Do students with many accounts like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok have different preferences than those with fewer accounts? So that's the first question. The next one, the next factor could be gender. This variable explores if there are differences in how male and female students are influenced by social media when choosing a leader. By comparing students based on these variables, the researcher can try to understand if social media plays a role in shaping students' opinions about who would make a good leader. This could help us understand how social media impacts student leadership elections and how to make them more fair and representative. So that is variables. The fifth one we have here, qualitative variable. Qualitative variable is a type of variable that focuses on the quality or characteristics of each experimental unit. For example, we have here civil status, gender, color, favorite movie. Now, imagine you're asking people about their favorite color. You might get answers like blue, green, red, or purple. These answers are words, not numbers, and they describe qualities or characteristics. That is why a qualitative variable is like this. It represents a quality or characteristic that can't be measured numerically. It's about describing things, not measuring them. Here are some other examples of qualitative variables. The favorite food like pizzas, sushi, tacos, and etc. It's also about hair color, which is brown, blonde, black, and etc. We also have nationality like American, Canadian, Mexican, Filipino, and etc. Or it could be opinion on a movie. It could be loved it, hated it, like meh. So those could be qualitative variables. So if you're collecting data that describes categories or qualities, you're working with qualitative variables. The sixth word we have here is about quantitative variable. Quantitative variable is a type of variable that measures a numerical quantity on each experimental unit. So for example, we have here age, height, weight, and daily allowance. So imagine you're trying to understand how tall your friends are. You wouldn't just say tall or short, right? You'd use numbers like 5 feet, 8 inches, or 6 feet, 1 inch. Those are examples of quantitative variable because a quantitative variable is a variable that can be measured or counted using numbers. It's about how much or how many of something there is. Some examples are height, which is measured in inches, centimeters, or feet. Another one is age that is measured in years, months, or days. And another is number of siblings counted as a whole number. Another is temperature measured in degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. And it could be also be weight that is measured in kilograms, pounds, or ounces. So if you're working with data that can be expressed as numbers, you're dealing with quantitative variables. The seventh vocabulary is about data collection. Data collection is the process of gathering data such as surveys, interviews, and etc. So this is like gathering pieces of a puzzle to understand the bigger picture. It's the process of systematically gathering information or data from various sources to answer questions, solve problems, or make informed decisions. This information can be anything from numbers and statistics to opinions, observations, or historical records. Think of it like a detective investigating a crime. They gather clues, interview witnesses, and analyze evidence to piece together what happened. Similarly, data collection involves identifying the right information, using appropriate methods, and carefully recording it to ensure accuracy and reliability. Data collection is essential in research, business, government, and many other fields. It helps us understand trends, make predictions, improve products and services, and ultimately make better decisions based on real evidence. So that is data collection. The last vocabulary that we need to know for this lesson is about sampling. Sampling is the process of the selecting subset of the population. So sampling is like taking a bite of a cake to get an idea of its flavor instead of eating the whole thing. In statistics, it's the process of choosing a smaller group called a sample from a larger group called the population to study and understand its characteristics. Imagine you want to know the average height of all students in a school. It would be impossible to measure every single student. So, you might choose a smaller group, like 50 students from different grades, to represent the whole school. This smaller group is your sample. By studying the sample, you can make inferences about the entire student population. This is much more efficient than trying to collect data from everyone. However, it's important to choose a representative sample, meaning it accurately reflects the characteristics of the entire population. If you only sampled students from the basketball team, your results wouldn't be representative of the whole school. Sampling is widely used in research, marketing, and many other fields to gather data and make informed decisions. So, with those vocabularies that we had, let us now have our topic, which is about data collection and sampling techniques. So these are the objectives for today's lesson. First, define data collection and explain its significance in decision making and research. Second, distinguish between types of data which are qualitative and quantitative. The third objective is to understand the importance of sampling in data collection. And the last objective for this lesson is to identify, explain, and provide examples of different types of sampling techniques. Before we begin with our lesson, let me ask you first some questions. First, have you ever been asked to fill out a survey? Second one, why do you think that they collect that information? So imagine you are dining in Jollibee and a Jollibee crew is asking you to fill out a survey. Why do you think they collect that information? Well, first and foremost, they might need that information to improve customer experience. They want to know what you like and dislike about Jollibee. Maybe you love the chicken joy, but the wait was too long. This feedback helps them improve service, food quality, and the overall experience. That is why you are being asked to fill out a survey. And with those questions, it leads us to our topic, data collection. Data collection is the process of gathering and measuring information systematically to analyze and make informed decisions. They may consist of facts, numbers, names, figures, or even description of things. There are two types of data. The first one is what we call the qualitative data, and the second one is about quantitative data. Let us first discuss what is qualitative data. Qualitative data, it describes the quality of something or someone. It is descriptive information. For example, the skin color, eye color, hair texture, and etc. gives us the qualitative information about a person, a place, or anything that needs description. Description that does not involve numbers. That is what we call qualitative data. The second type is what we call quantitative data. Quantitative data, it provides numerical information. Example, the height and weight of a person, the cost of the basic needs of a person, the cost of transportation, anything that involves numbers or numerical information, that is what we call quantitative data. Okay, now let's have an activity. Directions. Identify whether the data described is qualitative or quantitative. Explain your answer. For number one, we have here the names of books in a school library. The data being asked here are names, and this does not involve numbers. So our answer for number one is qualitative. Number two, the height of students in a basketball team, which is in centimeters. So for this one, the data being asked is in centimeters, that is in numbers or numerical form. So therefore, number two is quantitative. For items number three, we have here the types of flowers in a garden. That is, for example, roses, tulips, or daisies, or any type of flower. And the type of flower does not describe, or that is not, or they are not described using numbers. So, this is a qualitative data. Number four, the number of goals scored in a soccer match. Now, the goals or the score in a soccer match is represented by a number. So therefore, number four is quantitative data. Now let's have numbers 5 and 6. For number 5, the ratings of a restaurant on a scale of 1 to 5. Now, the data asked for number 5 are ratings, and the ratings here is represented by numbers 1 to 5. When you represent a data that is in numerical form, that is already quantitative data. For number 6, we have here the colors of backpacks carried by students. Number 6 asked us for colors, and colors are represented by non-numerical data like red, blue, yellow, green. So those are what we call qualitative data. For numbers 7 and 8, we have here number 7, the time, which is in minutes taken to solve a puzzle. Now, number 7 asked us for the time, and time is expressed in numbers. Therefore, number 7 is quantitative data. For number 8, we have here the brands of smartphones owned by employees in an office. Brands or brand names of smartphones are not represented by numbers. For examples of brands are Oppo, Samsung, iPhone, Redmi, Xiaomi, Realme, those are brands of smartphones. So, since they do not involve numbers, number 8 is a qualitative data. For numbers 9 and 10, we have here number 9, the temperature of various cities during the day, that is in degrees Celsius. Now, the temperature like Celsius, Kelvin, Fahrenheit, those are represented by a numerical form, or they are presented in numbers. So, number 9 is in quantitative data. For number 10, we have here the genre of movies most frequently watched by people in a survey. Genre are those like, for example, comedy, horror, romance, romantic comedy, or science fiction. Those are genres of movies. So since those are not described by numbers, we can say that number 10 is a qualitative data.